Infinity scarves are great because they stay on you. There are no ends that fly about if it's a bit windy or if you're moving a lot. I've noticed recently that I've been wearing this here very old one a lot recently, just for that reason that it stays where it is. But this here one is a little bit too long. I don't like it to be hanging down as much as this. So I decided to make a new one. I used up a lot of leftover yarn for this one, and it's done in the continuous V-stitch, which I love. But I also love many other stitches, and a couple of months ago I made a tutorial for the Houndstooth stitch. That word is hard for a Finnish person to pronounce. But it looks like this here. You recognize it from so many different things. And now I decided to use that stitch for my new infinity scarf. This one is a little bit shorter. It's also thicker yarn. But now I'm showing you how I did it and what I used to make it. The yarn I'm using is drop snip wool. It's Aran weight and it's wool and alpaca, 35% alpaca and the rest is wool. I tried a couple of hook sizes and the one that they suggest worked best for me, which is 5mm or H. And like most of the time, I'm using a Clover Amur hook. An important thing about this here yarn is that it's untreated wool, so it can only be washed by hand in fairly cold water. I use mainly wool, but I often use superwash treated ones, so it can be washed in the machine too, but this one cannot. I made a swatch with this stitch so that I could see how the colors work together and also how it behaves compared to my chain. Now I used an ordinary chain, not any chainless foundation, because I didn't want to have the first stripe much wider than the others. And with this I can see that if I chain normally, it doesn't stretch out much afterwards. So what I'm actually going to do, although I could use this as a gauge swatch and count the exact number of stitches, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I just chain until the chain is long enough. By the way, anytime you are making a swatch that you are later going to frog, it's worth doing it like this. If you wouldn't otherwise need to cut the yarns, that way you don't waste any yarn. You just skip from there to the beginning and leave it loose so that if you were to measure, that the yarns at the back won't stretch it. But now I'm just going to chain until the chain is 120 centimeters long or 48 inches. We start with a slip knot, but leave a bit of a tail because we need it afterwards. So a slip knot, whatever way you like to make it, and then you just chain. So chain until your chain is 120 centimeters long. Here my chain is long enough, and then we start to crochet, and I'm not joining this chain into a ring until at the end of the first row. It works better that way. So now we start the Houndstooth stitch, and don't worry that the first couple of rows it doesn't look like it. It takes into a third or fourth row before we can start seeing what it really will look like. We start in the second chain from the hook, so that one and a single crochet there. And then a double crochet in the next one. And a single crochet in the one after. And again a double crochet. And this is what we repeat. So every second stitch is a single crochet and every other one is a double crochet using American crochet terms. And the way I normally do it, that I crochet the single crochet slightly tighter and then the double crochet looser. That way the pattern shows a bit more. So just continue this until the end of the chain, alternating double crochet and single crochet. And like I said, you don't see it yet and you don't need to worry about that. So here I'm at the end of this here row, and you finish with a double crochet, and if you have extra chain left there, you just afterwards you will undo that. Now what we need to join this, and it's important that it's not twisted, so go over it, checking that, you know, where the actual stitches they are on top, that it's not twisted there. Yeah, and hold it there so it doesn't twist while you're getting the other yarn. And then take your other color. The way this stitch works is that every time where you have a single crochet, you put a double crochet over it, and the other way around. And this first stitch we had was a single crochet, so insert the hook there and take the yarn and pull through there as well as through the other stitch we had, and you can tighten it. And now we need like a double crochet, and in this I prefer to do a stacked stitch. So chain one and then the single crochet in that same stitch, and then take the side of that and make a second single crochet there. So now we are at the height of a double crochet. And then the next stitch, if you need to check which one you have, you need to sort of pull it out. In the beginning it's harder to see, but this here is the double crochet, so a single crochet there. And like I mentioned in the beginning, I like to do the single crochet fairly tight. And then the next one is a single crochet, and you have a loosish double crochet there. And this is how you continue. So next again, single crochet, double crochet, and always every second one. So here it's a single crochet, so a double crochet over it. And even on this hero, you don't yet see exactly how the stitch is going to work out, so don't worry about that. Just alternating these two stitches, making sure that you always have the opposite stitch over each one, so here again, single crochet, and so on. So go right round like this here. And I forgot to say, do not cut the yarn, the other color. We never cut them, they just run here, like making a seam here. So we won't be having any yarn tails to weaving except in the beginning and end. Here's that round done. And now it's important that at this stage you check again that it's not twisted. Mine actually was, because I was crocheting it somewhere else and then came back again. So check that it's not twisted. What we still need to do is to sew the start. So where you have the tail end and then where you started, these here need to be sewn, but I haven't done it yet. So now this here is the second round that's finished, and then just leave the other yarn, the white one there, and take the first color back. We have the double crochet here, so find the actual stitch there on top of the stacked stitch that we made, and hook there and pull through, and then chain one and a single crochet in that same stitch, and then we can tighten the other one there, and then continuing. So the next one there is a single crochet, so we need a double crochet, and then a single. So we continue the same, and again doing the single crochet fairly tight and the double fairly loose. So on this here round, the patterning that this creates is starting to show. and continue the round, and at the end of it we'll still look one more time how we do the joining. So here we are again, and now these two yarns here, so I would twist them round so that the white one that we are taking goes round this yarn that we're finishing with. And now here we need the stacked stitch again, so use the white yarn and pull through, can tighten that a bit, and then chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch, and single crochet to the side of the stitch, like that. And then this here is a double crochet, so again we have a single crochet there, and then continue this same way. There we are. And now you just continue just the same way, going round and changing the colors here every time until the width of it is what you would like it to be. I want mine around 12-13 centimeters or 5 inches. And I'm going to finish with the same color that I started. But you could of course use more colors. For instance, have the white one every second one, and then the darker color would change, even on every round if you wanted a really colorful one. A stitch pattern like this of course shows best when the colors have a clear contrast. So then just crochet until your scarf is wide enough. This is one of my favorite stitches, so I really enjoyed working on the scarf. Here we are now. I have finished it and finished all the yarn ends as well. The join is here, so it doesn't show very much, although when you go around you do find it, but it's not something that would be easily noticeable when you are wearing it. Now what I haven't had time to do now, because I need to publish this video, is that I'm going to wet it through now and let it dry. I just saw a cowl that had been done with this here yarn and it was softer because it had been washed. So that's what I'm going to do next. So here it is, and I'm very pleased with it, and the length is just right. I hope that you will also make one and enjoy making it either for yourself or for a friend or family member. Until next time.